Today we have with us Mr. Steve Colburn. He is the Mercedes HR specialist. He's going to be giving us an overview of the Mercedes Co-op program that we have here at Wallace State. We'll just go ahead and get started. Steve, could you go ahead and tell us a little bit about how this program was launched and how it got started?
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. I kind of want to start a little bit earlier than that, if you don't mind, and just really talk about, our company just a little bit. So Mercedes-Benz, the factory, which is located in Tuscaloosa County, Alabama, started back in 1997. That's when we produced the first model SUV, the M-Class. And then since that time, we've added several more models to our production at Plant Tuscaloosa. Over a period of time, technology has changed. It's gotten a lot more complex in our plant, and we're building the GLE, the GLS, the GLE Coupe. And then a little over 2 years from now, we start building a fully electric SUV in our plant, and at over 300,000 vehicles a year. So over the last 23 years, technology has really taken off in automotive technology, definitely in our premium SUVs that we build. And so a few years ago, we saw the need to really increase the skill level coming into our plant. And I could say 7 or 8 years ago, we started a program with a community college, to build that incoming skill level, one for automotive technology and another one for industrial maintenance. 2 years ago, I reached out to Wallace State with trying to increase that number of students into this field of automotive technology. After a couple of visits, when I came to Wallace State, the takeaway was what a great supporting community college Wallace State is, and they were super pumped about this opportunity. So really it started with that first initial discussion with Wallace State, and then to say, this is what I'm trying to do, and they were super supportive in trying to kick that off. So it's really trying to get students into a program where they're learning. To me, it's advanced automotive technology, because again, the cars that we build are just super technical and very sophisticated. So an awesome opportunity for a student to have a great career at our plant.
Wonderful. And I guess you kind of have started speaking to this, but what do you kind of see as the mission of the program? What's the goal?
For me, it's about, one, identifying those students that really are committed to learning. I want students in the program that really want to learn the technology. At the end result is trying to make sure that we're putting the best possible students into our plant for full-time positions. And I've got to find and got to identify those students that are what I call the best fit for a automotive technician in our offline repair area. So we have 2 assembly shops in our plant, and in both assembly shops, we do have an offline repair area. I've got to identify those students that show that they have the skills to be a really good technician in our repair area. But I've also got to identify those students that have a passion about manufacturing, because that's what we do. We build cars, and we build some very high premium SUVs, and we need those students that are committed to being a part of our plant and doing the things that we need to get done to be the best that we can be at Plant Tuscaloosa.
So you mentioned that there were other community colleges that you have worked with as well. So about how many students do you think have gone through the program with Mercedes?
As far as what I've hired through the program, I've hired over 132 students that have graduated through this program. And for me, the key, and this is what I want everybody to understand, is it's not just, it's a program where they're learning the technology. It is a program where we have donated brand new SUVs to the community college here at Wallace State and to all our partners. So they're learning in the best technology there is to learn from. Mercedes-Benz is the best. And it's even when I talk about manufacturing. This is a manufacturing plant. We build Mercedes-Benz SUVs, but it's a Mercedes-Benz manufacturing facility. That's the best there is. It doesn't get any better than that. So it's all about trying to identify those students that want to learn that technology. And I may have missed a second part of your question there. So
no, that was the biggest thing was I wanted people to know, that there are students coming through, a significant number of students coming through, and that are being hired. So,
and now that you brought that up, I want to go ahead and finish out those results. But that's the key thing, is in that program, over 132 students have been hired full time. Right now I have 18 graduates that are in my the repair technician role in our plant. I've got 4 more that's going through the additional training to be a repair technician. That means school has completed. They showed me that they had the best fit to be that repair technician, and they're going through what we call the Mercedes Tech apprenticeship portion of that training, which is at the end of the college courses. And on top of that, and which is a key for me, is to identify those students that really want to be a leader in our plant. We have to have leaders that come out of this program as well. And it's happening. I've got 36 graduates that are now team leaders in our production shop. And I've got 1 graduate that is a group leader, that is a frontline supervisor in our production shop. And to me, that is just totally amazing to see that type of result from out of 132 students to have that many going into these either leadership roles or repair technician roles, which is awesome to see. And to think that these students just graduated through the program over the last 5 and 6 years. Now they're already in these roles. That's amazing. Great opportunity for them.
That's wonderful. So maybe you can talk a little bit. I know obviously there's a benefit to the program to Mercedes, and then there's also the benefit to the students. So can you maybe speak to how both benefit from the program?
As a student goes through the program, let's talk about what the benefit they receive as they're in the program, and which is a key as well. So we commit to supporting the students with tuition fee support. So for the students that are attending at Wallace State in the second semester of the program, the second semester here at school, we cover 50% of their tuition fees. And then the first summer semester that rolls around the program, that's a required working semester at our plant. And they're making really good money during that summer semester at $16 an hour in their first summer. The third and fourth semester at Wallace State, if their GPA is good, above a 3.0, then we're covering 100% of their tuition fees in the program in the third and fourth semester, what to me is amazing, right? It's amazing, a lot of support that we're giving for the students. Then you talk about the benefit to us at Mercedes, and the benefit is we're bringing in a very high-skilled team member into our plant that's going to impact our plant in a positive way, and it makes sure for us that we're placing students in really good positions with an opportunity, and the benefit for the student is the opportunity for an awesome career. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I want from every student in the program, is not only do they get the education through the program, but at the end of it, and I say this a lot in different presentations that I do, when they get through with the program and they've earned their degree and we've supported with their education and they've got that work experience at Mercedes-Benz, they don't have to go home and pull out their laptop and go to a career builder and try to find a job. The career is waiting on them at Mercedes. I'm ready with the offer letter, ready to, pencil in the name of the student that completes. And to me, that's a huge benefit. And then the student can start their career at Mercedes-Benz, and it's up to them where their path goes, what kind of opportunity comes ahead of them. It's never, they can start at the plant, and not only do you have a great career, but you never know which opportunity is going to present itself to you to continue going down a different path at Mercedes. To me, that's the big thing about our program, is not only are we bringing in skill level and we're providing that skill level to our plant, but we're giving careers to these students, and it's a career really for a lifetime that they could have at Mercedes-Benz.
Perfect. Let's talk about the process of being selected for the program and what those requirements look like for any students that may be interested.
Let's start with, when to apply. Anybody listening that's actually in a high school or even an instructor somewhere, students can apply as a senior in high school. The application is actually open right now, and every year it's open up around August of September of every year to fill for that next fall's class. So the application is open now. So a senior that's in high school, when is the time to apply? Well, that's now. It's open in August. It will close sometime around March and April. I don't have an exact date. Once they apply and they go to the website's pretty simple. It's learnmercedes.com. They'll see the schools listed there and the application link to apply. And once they apply, then the first step is an assessment at our training center that's ran by AIDT. That assessment pretty much takes all day. It's a hands-on assessment. We also rely on ACT Work Keys. Those results from the ACT Work Keys, which is a job skills assessment, and that's applied math, graphic literacy, and workplace documents, those 3 assessments. The other part of that is the interview. So we have the application, you apply for the program, you go through your first assessment at the training center, you supply your ACT work keys, and then there's an interview for the program, and that interview is with me. Sometimes that's at the college, and then sometimes it's actually at the training center as well. So that's a selection process steps, and as a student goes through that, it's step-by-step process, and then at the end of it, I have an overall score that I get from every assessment, and based on that score, that determines whether somebody gets an offer to join the program or not.
Perfect. Thank you. You've kind of spoken to this several times just throughout our conversation, but could you tell us a little bit about when you are recruiting or hiring these students for this, or just in general for Mercedes, what kind of skill set or training, what kind of employability characteristics are you looking for?
Here's the keys to being successful at Mercedes-Benz, and I try to make sure the students understand this as well. Definitely to be in a program like this where you're receiving that support for tuition fees, and at the end of it, you're looking at a career. It takes dedication, commitment to be the best, to do your best in your schoolwork, to do the best that you can in your work performance at the plant when you're working at the plant. And then in the long run, the keys to success at Mercedes-Benz is good team skills, interpersonal skills, good skill level in general, good quality, manageability, being professional. Attendance is definitely a super important factor to be successful. Being flexible, things that Mercedes change, and sometimes they change every day, and there's different things that you have to do to be flexible in our environment. So you want students that are very open to change and can be flexible to meet the targets that we've got to meet at the plant. A lot of people talk about soft skills. I really prefer to say success skills. I don't really like the word soft. These skills that we're talking about as far as work ethic and attendance and interpersonal skills, those are basic skills that you have to be successful. So that's why I call them success skills.
Love that. Let's kind of shift gears. We do have a student who is in the program, Rick Wilkerson, and we're going to kind of allow him to give a little bit of perspective from the student. So, Rick, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself, where you're from?
All right, my name is Rick Wilkerson. I actually grew up in North Carolina. I moved down to Alabama when I was about 20 or so. I went through UAB. I got a bachelor's from there in health information management. And just kind of bounced around, working in that field, managed a couple places, and wasn't super interested in it. I wanted to switch to something I was really passionate about, and that's when I found the Mercedes-Benz program.
Wonderful. So tell us why you chose this particular field and program. What about it?
I've just always really had a passion for cars and just the engineering behind it, how everything kind of gets put together from these smaller pieces to make one big thing. And that's really what drove me towards it.
Okay. And what do you like most about working at Mercedes?
I really like the sense of community. When I was there this summer, I made a lot of friends with a lot of different people that outside of working at Mercedes, I probably wouldn't have bumped into. And even now that the summer semester is over, there's a couple I still keep in contact with. I still know what's going on with the line that I worked on during the summer and what's been going on with them, just because I made those close friendships over seeing them every day, working with them every day.
Wonderful. Sounds like you had a great team there. And then what do you like most about the automotive program at Wallace State?
I like my instructor, Adam Frazier, the best. Adam, he's always there for you if you have any questions, if you don't understand something. Definitely Jamie here. She's always reaching out to me, making sure I have everything I need to be successful. Even Sydney Pear, she was there during my training for other things. And when COVID happened, they still kept in contact with me to make sure everything was good with me, and whatever tools I needed to succeed, they made sure I had.
There are some students on the call today, and so I would like for you to share with them why you think that they should consider a job in advanced automotive technology.
I graduated back in 2005, and I feel like at the time it was a lot different. When I was graduating, they kind of pushed you away from tech schools and more towards the traditional four-year degrees. I wish at the time when I graduated, people kind of explained more to me about the tech field and a better understanding of that, because you spend less time in school, but a lot of times you have more time in the field to understand things and move up and to really like get your hands dirty in a field and really understand it to move up into it.
All right. Well, so those are all the questions that I have for you, but I'm just going to open it up either to questions from people on the call, or if there's anything else that I haven't really covered that either of you would like to share today.
Let me just add that this is what an awesome opportunity this is. And really, Wallace State Community College is a great community college. One of the main reasons that we got this partnership up here is because I know in this area there are a lot of great high schools and a lot of good students that may be interested in technology. For me, it's not just technology. I mean, again, this is Mercedes-Benz. It just doesn't get any better than that. But when you talk about the students and opportunities, it's all about careers. Totally at the end of the day, I want to see every student be successful. That is my main focus for the program, is every student that gets selected, I want to see them go on to be super successful at our facility. And what an awesome future it is for a lot of these students if this is something they want. And that's a key. Every student has to figure out, what do I want to do for a career? What am I interested in? And I think that's really important that they actually take the time to do that. But this is just one of those opportunities that they can look at and go, wow, this may be something good for them. So anybody have any questions?
Looks like Jan says when she was at Dora High School, she had a former student who was hired with the team agency and worked for 2 to 3 years at Mercedes, ended up leaving to be closer to home, but it was an opportunity he would have never known here.
Yeah, another thing that we need to make sure that everybody knows as well, and I didn't talk about that when we were going through the questions, but for the working semesters for the students that are here at Wallace State, we also provide a housing stipend during those working semesters. So that's a lot of support for a student to be able to in that working semester, find a place to live closer to the plant. And they can live close to the plant, and we can provide that housing stipend to them as well to give them that support. And there's a couple of complexes, apartment complexes in Tuscaloosa that have said that they would, they're willing to work with this type of setup and a type of a co-op setup. That's a great, another great support for the program, for them to be able to have that additional support to live closer to the plant. And it's really not that far, so that people are looking, thinking maybe it's too far away. It takes an hour and 15 minutes for me to get to this campus from the plant. So it's really not that bad of a drive from Wallace State and Huntsville.
It looks like Jan was just mentioning that the stipend would offer an opportunity to people who might not be able to access the program otherwise, which is absolutely true.
Yeah, I know we've had some students, and I know we had some from Wallace that did this. Some of them roomed together. Each student gets a housing stipend, and they found an apartment where they could just have one apartment together. And I think that's super beneficial to them and definitely helps them, kind of get through that. I want to go back and just underline the main focus is to identify students that really are interested in technology. And yes, it's automotive technology, but please remember, automotive technology is probably not what you think it is. Our cars are very complicated, and the main focus of our program is to try to make sure the students understand the electrical side. We're not talking about changing brakes. We're not talking about doing front end alignments on vehicles. It's not what you think it is. Our cars are brand new Mercedes SUVs. And sometimes in production, maybe somebody forgets to connect one of our electrical connections. Maybe there's a connector that got hit and damaged. But you're talking about a car that has over 120 mini computers in the car to tell it what to do. This is a very sophisticated machine here, and I call it the robot with wheels on it, and that's exactly what it is. So we're not the typical automotive world that maybe you think it is. For us, it's all about troubleshooting, diagnostic troubleshooting, understanding electrical, understanding how to read a electrical schematic in a vehicle, understanding the whole process of getting to and finding an error in a car, making sure that when you're removing the parts that we have in a car, that all of that goes back in correctly, because it has to be done 100% perfect for the customer. So I kind of look at our offline repair, they call it repair, but I prefer to say it as an offline customer readiness center. So the car, when it leaves production, maybe it's not totally ready for the customer because of something that maybe happened in production, or maybe we had a supplier that had a problem and couldn't send us a part. our technicians in offline repair, they have to find out what's wrong with that vehicle quickly and fix it, and then get the car moving through the rest of the process. So when you're looking at a facility that's building 900 to 1,200 vehicles every single day in our plant, you can only imagine the impact, one, to that customer readiness center, that not every car is ready to go to the customer, and we have to have that skill set in offline repair to make sure that car is ready to go to the customer. And at the other side of that, you want students and parents and everybody to understand, we've been here as a company for 23 years now. You know, while nobody has a crystal ball, I can tell you this plant's going to be here for a lot longer, right? We have a great future in front of us with not only the fully electric SUV coming in a little over 2 years from now, but to support that, we are building a battery plant right behind our main campus, because we've got to make a battery for this fully electric SUV. And there's all types of opportunities there as well. So when you look at what's going on and you see the vehicles that we're building and the technical aspect of what we're doing, think about, one, and this is, again, it's opportunity for students, right? Think about that we have been there for 23 years. So what is starting to happen in our company that happens to a lot of areas and a lot of companies where people have been employed for 23 and 24 years? Hey, it's time for me to retire, right? So we have a lot of retirement going on right now. So not only do we have people starting to retire from our company and we're losing that skill set, we're building a battery plant. So that creates a lot of internal movement, which in turn opens up more positions and more opportunities for advancement in our plant. To me, that's a key. It's a key that, and I've said it a lot of times, our student training programs are the future of our plant. We've got to keep these students, that pipeline of students coming in, and just what an awesome opportunity. Any other question that's popped up?
Amy Glidden is saying, so basically this is digital diagnostics. She said she'd love to share this with their robotics club, and she thinks that maybe that would be a good group of kids with the tech background to go into this program.
I think it would be awesome. It's but when you think about when our Mercedes SUV leaves that last line in the production shop, and when they run electrical test on that vehicle and these errors pop up, those errors means there's a problem somewhere in that car. When it goes to the repair area and that technician looks at that printout and sees the errors, that technician has to know what to do based on those codes. Again, we're not back there changing oil. We're not doing that. This is a very sophisticated piece of equipment. This is a machine, right? This is a computer with wheels on it. So when they look at that information, they have to know what to do. And sometimes that means going to a system and they're looking at an electrical schematic where they're trying to find, okay, where do I need to start? This error means this is where it's located. It could be between here and here in the electrical wiring. It's stuff that you can't see as a customer in a car, but when you remove the carpet and you remove the trim pieces, you see this massive wiring harness that routes through the car and all these computers that are placed underneath these areas that you can't see. That's where it becomes very, very complicated. That's what you're trying to make sure that everybody understands, is that level of technology requires students to really want to learn that and really be engaged with that. We build cars and we're a manufacturing plant, so you want students to embrace manufacturing. You're working in a plant and you're working those hours, and I know Rick was out there working with his shift and his team when he was working in the summer. It had to rotate every 2 weeks, 2 weeks of a day shift hours and 2 weeks of evening shift hours. You have to be engaged with that as well. You have to embrace that as a manufacturing, in the manufacturing world. But it's things that are good for a lot of students that really want that for a career. Again, I've seen some student success stories that are really just awesome out there in the plant. So when I get the feedback from a student that says, man, I had a great time, this semester working in the plant, it was awesome, it's going really well. That's what I want to hear for sure. And I'm excited to see their excitement of being in the program. So it's awesome to see that.
Looks like we had another question come in. We actually have a current Wallace State student who is in the mechatronics program here. He's asking if there's any ties into the mechatronics program or if you foresee any ties with maintenance or that type of thing.
We do hire maintenance team members. We post jobs looking for maintenance team members with experience. While we don't have a partnership here for maintenance students, we do hire for that. And, for a Wallace student that's maybe in that program, maybe that after they graduate and they get a few years of experience in that field, then definitely they could be looking at, possible opportunities to join our company in the maintenance department.
So I'll follow up with that and ask, where are your job postings for any of our students who are close to graduation or starting to look there?
You can find all of our job postings at, and I'll say it real slow, www.mbusi.com/employment. So there you'll see where we post most of our jobs, and I would tell anybody that's interested to go and you check that. You need to check it often because our jobs go up and down a lot. I would check it at least every month, every few weeks to see what's up there and what's available. As a company, you may have students here at Wallace that are maybe they're going on to get their engineering degree or whatever. Obviously, that's one of the main majors that we recruit at our plant is mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, industrial engineering, operations management, finance and accounting, management of information systems. I could go on, but there's a lot of different careers that you can have at our facility in those type of fields. So we have a lot of engineers at our plant for sure. Website, just so everybody knows how to apply for this opportunity for the Advanced Automotive Mercedes Tech program. It's www.learnmercedes.com. And you will see the several schools listed. You'll see the Wallace State there, and they just click on there, and that's when it starts. So again, if there's anybody that's a senior, it's time to apply. Anybody that was a previous, already graduated high school, and maybe they're out there kind of like Rick, looking for, trying to find what career that he's interested in. This is a great opportunity. So there may be students out there that's been several years have graduated from high school and they just haven't found kind of what they're looking for. This is it. I'd say this is it. This is an awesome opportunity for somebody to be involved, not only with the technology, but you're part of Mercedes-Benz, which is totally awesome.
Okay, well, it looks like that was all of the questions for today. So, Steve, thank you so much for your time. Rick, thank you for your time. I appreciate everyone who joined us today. Please share with your students, especially those that you think might be interested in applying. And of course, if we can help in any way with that process, let us know. We're happy to do it.
I'm going to give out my email for just make sure anybody can get in touch with me, and that's steve.colburn@daimler.com. So if anybody has a question, maybe they didn't ask it today, feel free to send me an email. And I know the college here has all my contact information that they can share with you, but just feel free to give me an email, send me an email, and I will help you out all I can.
Thank you all so much. Have a great day.
Thank y'all.